To this week's Joe Cooks. Hope everyone's had a nice weekend. Right, this weekend we're going to be making Frankenstein's biscuits. Sounds weird, but I was in the supermarket the other day looking for a decent biscuit to dunk in a cup of tea and that, and I couldn't make my mind up. I had Hobnobs, we had Gingernuts, we had chocolate chip cookies and that. Choice was mind blowing, but I thought wouldn't it be nice to have one that has all three. So this is my go at it. I've never made it before. I don't think anyone's made this before, so it could go terribly wrong. But we'll have a quick run through the ingredients and we'll get on with it. Just a handful of ingredients in this one. We've got 125 grams of plain flour, 125 grams of unsalted butter. I'm going to soften that up in the microwave for a couple of minutes. We've got 125 grams of breakfast oats, 100 grams of dark brown sugar, about 70 grams of chocolate chips. These are dark ones. You can use whichever ones you want, really, like. Golden syrup, 60 grams, teaspoon of ground ginger. And the equipment, just basics. We've got a couple of baking sheets here, which I've lined with baking powder. A box, which we'll come back to in a minute. A cooling rack, mixing bowl and a wooden spoon, a fork, and my hand mixer. Hand mixer is optional. You can use it just a whisk if you want and that. And a set of food scales. Well, we're going to soften with butter, so I'm going to put my microwave on the defrost setting. I'm just going to put it in. I'm just going to spin it for about 2 minutes, just to soften it right up and that, to make it easier to mix. Next, you want to preheat your oven to 180 degrees. Right, back to the chopping board, we're going to start with dry ingredients. And this is where this box comes in. Just saves messing about with another bowl and that, and mixing stuff. But in that box, I'm just going to chuck the flour. I'm going to chuck the oats. It's horrible when you get into a supermarket and you can't decide what you want, you know. I could have bought all 3 packets, but that's just being greedy, innit? But I was thinking, oh, I wonder what it tastes like. But we're going to put a good teaspoon of ginger in. We'll get rid of that because we don't need it anymore. Whack the lid on and just give it a good old shake. Proper good shake. This will combine it nicely. And we're just going to sit it to one side and get on with the wet ingredients. So we're going to bring a bowl in. Just get rid of that fork for a minute because we don't need that. And the wooden spoon can stay there. And we're going to go in the bowl with butter, which we just softened up in the microwave. As you can see, it's turned like liquidy now. That's perfect. That's perfect. We're going to go in with sugar. And we're going to go in, I'll just get some room, with golden syrup. And what I like to do, I like to just weigh mine out of the bottle, because it's a bit messy when you start putting it into boxes and then trying to scrape it out. But we'll just tear that off. Want about 60 grams. Doesn't have to be perfect in that. But we'll see what we've got there. 41, one little squirt more, and we're good, 51, go on, one more. Calorie wise, there's a lot in this, so don't be shy. But anyway, we're going to give this a good wazz up with this. It might be a bit noisy, so I'll do a transition-y thing in that. And yeah, 2 minutes, we'll be done. Right, that's our wet ingredients combined nicely now. We don't need the mixer anymore. I'll get rid of that in a minute. But we're going to bring back with dry ingredients and we're just going to mix them together. Like I said, this is a couple of basic biscuit recipes chucked into one, really, like, just to see what it would taste like. Whoop, I nearly spilt them there. Not paying attention. But I'm just going to get it with my wooden spoon and just mix it together. I'm just going to keep adding these oats and that. And eventually, we'll have some type of dough, you know what I mean? Lush, man, lush. Tell us in the comments what your favourite dunking biscuit is and that. If you're going to have a biscuit, you've got to have a proper dunker, ain't you? And there's only a couple of good ones. Gingernuts, Hobnobs. Hobnobs are lush. But they're so calorific. Mind you, this is pretty calorific too, like, so probably beating on Hobnobs a bit too much there. But the lush, aren't they, Hobnobs? We'll just keep mixing this. Nearly done, man. Nearly done. It only takes a few minutes. And my last job, ingredient-wise, is to put my chocolate chips in. I'm just going to put them in. I'm just going to keep folding it until they're all mixed in nicely and that. Look at that, man. Hobnobs, Gingernuts, and chocolate chip cookies all in one go. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Hopefully, they turn into good dunkers. If not, it's been a waste of time. We'll see at the end. We'll see at the end. But it's all a bit of fun in that. Get in your kitchen, man. This shows you can put anything with anything and see what you come up with. But anyway, what we're going to do now, get rid of the wooden spoon because we don't need it. We'll bring in an oven tray. Like I say, I've lined it with this baking paper. I've done 2 just in case. I might need 2, but I might not. But we're just going to take a bowl of this, about a golf ball size, mix it together, like in a bowl, and stick it on the thing. And we're just going to keep doing that. I think I might just put probably 2. I'll probably put 2 on a row because I've got 2 trays anyway, so that's fine. Because they will spread out and that, and I'm not very consistent with my sizes. But it's all good. I will put calories in that in the description as normal and that. I'm not going to bother putting them on the screen because they're biscuits, aren't they? You know what I mean? Right, we'll get rid of that bowl. We'll bring the other tray in. So these will spread out a bit, but what I'm going to do, just to give it a bit of a raggy top, I'm just going to push them down with a fork. Just to get that like fork mark on the top, and it'll make them nice and crispy on the top. But like what you do with a shepherd's pie and that. Just nicely press them. And I'm going to put these into our preheated oven. The oven's just clicked off now, I've just heard it. At 180 for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to check them after about 10. Then I'm just going to keep an eye on them and that because I don't want them to burn. Right, we've had about 15 minutes. I've taken them out of the oven. Let's have a look what we've got. Look at them, man. Look at them. Absolutely fantastic. Right, what we want to do now, this is the patience bit, is get a cooling rack. And I like to use a spatula to get mine off because they'll still be a little bit soft. They'll firm up properly when they cool down and just gently put them on the rack. Lush these, man. The smell's incredible. I'll show you something in a minute. Let's put them on the rack. And we're going to find a nice cool place to let them cool down properly. You want to let these cool down as long as you can. Don't be tempted to eat them and that. They'll be red hot now anyway. It'll be probably dangerous to eat at the minute. But have a look at this. Right, I'll move them over and I'll bring the other tray in. These ones, slightly darker, because these ones are at the top of the oven. So I'd probably just go for that one in future. But they're not too bad, they're not too bad. That one's a bit haddock-like, but that's fine. But yeah, I'm going to put these in my kitchen window and crack the window open a little bit because it's nice and cool and that. I'll make myself a nice cuppa. We'll come back, we'll taste them, we'll say we're goodbyes, and you can get in the kitchen and make them for yourself. Frankenstein's cookies. Who would have thought about it, eh? Who would have thought about it? I've let them cool down and I've plated them up. They're looking fantastic. They're looking fantastic. Look at them. Frankenstein's biscuits. Chocolate chip cookies, hobnobs, Gingernuts. Couldn't make my mind up, so we made all 3 together. Absolutely fantastic. Made a cup of tea to test the dunking power of them, because they're no good if you can't dunk them. Yeah, we'll have a taste, and we'll say we're goodbyes. Thanks everyone for watching. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, get me count going again and that. We've stalled, but we can still move forward and that. But look at these. I'll break one open. Look at that. They're a bit chewy. They're still a little bit warm, but let's test the dunking power of them. Hey, look at that. Absolutely perfect. Perfect. Like a taste sensation. Get in your kitchen, give them a go. Tell us how you get on in the comments. Till next week, be kind always, and have a great week.